All right, so getting started with charcoal, I recommend that you just practice with the materials and create some gradients. So here I'm starting out with fine charcoal, and I'm just kind of pressing a little bit harder when I first start with the charcoal and then easing up as I go. Just trying to change the value that I'm putting down with the amount of pressure that I'm using. You can always go back and make that dark part a little darker. Then you can go in and blend everything together with the tortillon. And with that too, I'm lessening up on the pressure as I move down. Try whatever you need to try. This is the chamois that I'm using here. You can rub this in with your fingers. This is all about experimenting at this stage. Just get to know what the materials do and try working with them. Let's start another one. Start this the same way. Rub this in with my fingers. And from the bottom, I'm going to use a kneaded eraser to just lightly blend in those light values. And here I'm coming back across from the dark to light with the compressed charcoal and then smoothing that out with the tortillon. Let's do this again. Start with fine charcoal. And this time we're going to work with some charcoal pencils. So I'm just putting down this kind of ground of vine charcoal and then with a very sharp long point pencil. It's a 2B and I'm going to hold it in the back of my hand instead of that typical writer's grip. We're just going to start in those dark areas, and again, we're going to change pressure as we work from top to bottom. So just lighten up on that pressure. This grip might feel a little bit awkward at first. Keep working with it. It really does make it easier to shade in large areas. You don't want to hold your pencil like a writer's grip like this. It really would make shading a large area very difficult, and it would make your wrist hurt right away. So after I've used the vine charcoal, the charcoal pencil, the kneaded eraser, the compressed charcoal, here's the tortillon. So we're just experimenting with all of these different materials. Combine them any way you like. But you'll start to notice I will almost always start with vine charcoal. I like to lay that down first. That's just my preference. But we'll start a gradient here with just the pencils. So no vine charcoal. We're just going to start with a 2B pencil, and that's what I would recommend. I like to work from the harder pencil to the softer pencil. For me, I like the 2B, 4B, and 6B if I'm just doing a sketch, a quick drawing. I don't really find it necessary to start with a even harder pencil than that. So I like that range. We're just noticing here with the 4B how much darker it is than the 2B. And you can also go back in and rub this in with your finger. You can rub that in with a chamois. You can try a kneaded eraser to go back and lighten from the bottom to the top. And then go back over with your pencil one more time. And let's try that again. We're just starting that gradient nice and loose at the top, very light. You can always build it up. So this is a great skill. It's very useful when you're shading, and shading is what charcoal is really all about. We want things to look three-dimensional, and that means that they're going to have some light and shadow, and that light and shadow is going to describe their form. So practice this skill. It's very useful, and it's a great way to get to know your materials.